Oh, you thought I was done talking about the Senator Ben Cardin gay sodomy scandal of 2023 starring Senator Ben Cardin? Nope, don't think so. And look, as much as I hate to reach for the low-hanging fruit, no pun intended, the fact of the matter is Senator Ben Cardin is going to need to adjust to living in his new reality, and I am here to help guide him through the process, because let's call things what they are. This is going to be the number one thing Senator Ben Cardin is remembered for. When we all went to bed on Thursday night, the number of people outside Maryland who knew Ben Cardin's name was probably somewhere between 8 and 17, which incidentally is also the age range of Charlie Chaplin's wives. But now, everybody knows his name because he is the gay sodomy senator. So might as well just learn to embrace it. Hell, might as well have it carved on your tombstone, because on the day Ben Cardin dies, gay sodomy is going to feature prominently in the first paragraph of his obituary. It was really kind of precious that the old guy thought he could escape this story with a one-sentence written statement saying, "I will have no further comment on this personnel matter." Because yeah, best of luck with that, dude. We're all pulling for you. No pun intended. Now, in the interest of full disclosure, I've had a couple of people tell me privately that they think I'm being too hard on Senator Ben Cardin, and I do apologize for that last turn of phrase. I understand that in light of current sensitivities, the senator might be a little bit touchy about having his name appear that close to the words hard on, but the fact of the matter is, from now until the end of time, Senator Ben Cardin is going to be closely associated in the public consciousness with the image of a dude lovingly jackhammering another dude up the bottom hole in room 216 of the Hart Senate office building. And that is not my fault. I don't make the news, I just report it. So on Saturday morning, less than 12 hours after the Butthole Gate scandal first broke, we got the news that the young man in question had been fired, and Senator Sodomy tried to make it all go away with the aforementioned one-sentence written statement. I'm not sure what he thought was going to happen the next time he was in the presence of the Capitol Hill press corps, but we didn't make it to lunchtime on Monday before he got his answer. Because what do you suppose was the first thing they asked him about? Yeah, let's just say it wasn't Bidenomics. And the guy, he actually looked quite taken aback that they wanted to talk to him about being the only senator in U.S. history whose staffers have been caught buggering each other on Senate property, almost as if he was thinking, what the hell? I'm a Democrat, you idiot. When I say I don't want to be asked about a thing, you're supposed to not ask about the thing. Has the whole fucking world gone mad? He did so much stuttering and stammering, one could have been forgiven for thinking they were actually listening to Joe Biden. But once he had gathered himself sufficiently to string a couple of coherent sentences together, which is the point where you know you're definitely not listening to Joe Biden, he said this, quote, "I was angry, disappointed. It's a breach of trust, all of the above. It's a tragic situation, and it's presented a lot of anger and frustration. I'm concerned about our staff and the way they feel about this, and the Senate staff," end quote. Then he was asked by a reporter from Forbes whether he was aware of the now former staffer in question displaying any sort of unusual behavior in the past, and then he started stuttering and stammering again. So take that for what you will, I guess. Quote, "I would not be the right one. I would have to ask. These are personnel issues, and I would not be the right person. I'm just not going to get into personnel issues," end quote. So he opens by talking about it, then he says he's not going to talk about it, and then when he's pressed further on whether he knows the ex-staffer, he replies, quote, "I know all of my staff people, so of course I know him," end quote. And I would recommend you start getting your story straight, Ben, because these questions ain't going away anytime soon. Now, you might be asking here, what's your larger point, Cap? What is the thrust of the overarching thesis you are trying to drive home? What deep, penetrating insight should we, the audience, take away from the Senator Ben Cardin gay sodomy scandal of 2023 starring Senator Ben Cardin? Well, for Senator Ben Cardin, if he's not going to do the honorable, accountable thing and resign from office in disgrace, he's just gonna have to learn to lean into it. No pun intended. Also, Ben, may I call you Ben? You should probably be prepared to have the Senate chamber erupt in hearty laughter the next time you try to sneak a backdoor rider into the appropriations bill. And for the rest of us, I really do think there's a valuable object lesson here, because all joking and puns aside, stuff like this is the logical endpoint of living in the world the Democrats have made for themselves, and in which they seek to force all of us to live as well, permanently. When your hiring practices are totally untethered to any consideration of merit or talent or temperament or even good judgment, when a person's external physical characteristics and sexual predilections are the only things you take into account, in terms of personnel matters, and when you promote a worldview that says all expressions of non-normative sexuality are automatically good and noble and praiseworthy, this is exactly the sort of thing you get. And if you're hoping against hope that this is just a one-time incident, an unfortunate aberration, well, go ahead and think that, but I think you've got another thing coming. No pun intended. One might say your woke chickens are coming home to roost, so best of luck lying in the bed you've made for yourselves. We're all rooting for you. No pun intended.